Hello everybody, Artie Clear from Wi-Fi 1460, the home of the Artie Clear Show. We're going to go over to the free agents right now. There's a lot of them that have been released. Today's Friday, and all the free agents have come out. It's March the 5th. I'm going down the list, and Kev Babin from the Eagles would be a nice find for any team. If the Eagles keep him, that would be okay also. We're going to run down the good players who's worth something in this draft here, actually in the free agency here, and who's good and who don't really mean nothing, and who's going to be like the top guys coming out of the free agency where they're going to be worth the most money. Because now they don't have a salary cap going on, so these guys can get up-time millions of dollars, and some will be great, some will be a bust. It's like flipping a coin and get lucky, but there's a lot of proven players out here, and there's some upside and some downside to other players that are free agents, which I'm going to go through with you right now. You got a guy like Charlie Batch, who's a backup quarterback. He won't get a job in the NFL. He's done. He should retire. Got Anthony Beck, who's a tight end. He played for the Cardinals. He's been in a few other teams. Not a bad find if you need a backup tight end. He won't hurt you. John Beck's a quarterback from the Ravens, backup quarterback. Came out of BYU. Not a bad quarterback. He won't start for the Ravens. He might be a good backup to another team, or maybe even a starter if the Rams or Cleveland can get their hands on a guy like that. But not a bad quarterback. Nothing serious, though. Don't worry about it. Mitch Berger, he's been playing with the Broncos 16 years in the service. His legs should be retired and tired. Forget about him. He's done. He's burnt toast. But Todd Berry from the Cardinals, 13 years in. I think he's a defensive end. I think he's spent. No big deal. Dre Bly, 12 years with the 49ers. He would be good for like a nickelback situation, but as a starter, he don't have it anymore. Going over to quarterback Kyle Bowler, who's an ex-Baltimore Raven and played for the Rams. Shot, young kid. He'll probably get a backup role somewhere, but not a starter. Linebacker Gary Brackett signed a gigantic deal with the Colts. He's off the list, like a 4 or 5 year deal for like $50 million. I think the Colts are out of their mind. We go with Steve Preston, who's a wide receiver from the Arizona Cardinals, punt returner. Very, very nice ball player. Wouldn't mind having him on my team. He's a guy that can do a lot of different things. He can be a wide receiver, a slot receiver, and a punt returner. Guy has a lot of talent. I'm sure the Cardinals will look to sign him again. But if he trusts the free agent market, he's liable to get a big payday. Chris Brown, the running back from the Texans. Not a bad running back. Could be a good player for a team like the Philadelphia Eagles who are looking for a running back, or maybe the San Diego Chargers. I know they just put the 10-year-old on Darren Sproles. They need another running back. Chris Brown wouldn't be so bad. Mark Brunell, forget about it. He's so old, he's older than mud. Melvin Bullitt, he's a guy from the Colts. He ought to take off like a bull. He stinks. Kevin Bullock of the Titans, great linebacker, got hurt last year. If he can come back round into form, even though he's been in the NFL for 11 years, he could be a nice player for someone to get. He's a linebacker. Derek Burgess played hurt last year, the year before, the sack leader in the NFL. He's out of the Raiders. If he comes back healthy, nice player. If he doesn't, hang it up. David Carr, you've been the #1 draft pick in the NFL. You're a bust. See you later. And I really mean see you later. Tyrone Carter, a safety out of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not a bad player. I'm sure the Steelers are going to look to re-sign him. Now that Palomalo is hurt, injury-prone, they'll look to have Tyrone Carter on their team. Chris Chambers, last year picked up by the Kansas City Chiefs. Not a bad player. 10 years into football. Good wide receiver. He's a good fit for almost any football team in the NFL. Danny Clark, a linebacker from the New York Giants. So far so good. Dante Culpepper, the backup quarterback for the Detroit Lions. He won't be in football anymore. His better days have been done. Here's a nice player for you. Philip Daniels, a defensive end for the Washington Redskins. I think he already re-signed with the Redskins. Good player. Carlos Dansby is probably rated the number 2nd player in linebackers in the free agency from the Cardinals. A great find for a team that needs a linebacker like the Philadelphia Eagles. Kevin Falk, an all-purpose down back out of New England. I think New England will try to sign him. If not, I think Brian Westbrook is headed into New England. And Kevin Falk, who's been in the league for 12 years, well, he'll just have to find a new home. Larry Foote, nice linebacker, formerly of the Steelers, plays for the Lions, 9 years in football. Not a bad linebacker. He's a good guy to come in passing situations. He's also a good run stopper. Got plenty of heart. Good player. Played for the Steelers when they won a Super Bowl. Okay, now we're going to Scott Fajitas, a linebacker from the champion Saints. Very good linebacker. I could see him making it with another team or the Saints signing him again Very, very good linebacker. Once again, looking at the Eagles, they could use a guy like him. Offensive tackle, Mike Gandy, 10 years in the league. Also, the Cardinals are losing a lot of players from the Cardinals. Very, very good lineman. I would like to see him start in another uniform in Philadelphia. Brad Krakowski, the kid out of Oakland, he'll be looking for a job next year. No good. Ahmad Green, picked up at the very end of the year by the Packers again for a look-see. Legs are dead. Forget about it. It's all over for him. Rex Grossman, he'll be working in a supermarket pretty soon because he has a good name of Grossman. He stinks. No chance for him. Casey Hampton signed a big deal with Pittsburgh. He's off the list. You got Reggie Hayward, a defensive end from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay. Situational type of player. No big deal. Anthony Henry from the Lions. Forget about it. Dominic Hickson, a wide receiver, 5 years into football with the Giants. A very good player. I like him for return, specialty, and he can fill the role of a third or fourth down wide receiver, not fourth down, but third or fourth wide receiver in football when you put a package in like this. Now you got Larry Johnson. He's with the Bengals. He got out of Kansas City. I still think he has something left in the tank. He's only been in football for 8 years. He hardly played last year, and the year before he was hurt. Be a good find. Again, the Philadelphia Eagles need a running back. He won't be such a bad guy. He's from Penn State. The jewel of the jewels, linebacker Aaron Campman from Green Bay Packers. Real good player. Should get plenty of money in this free agency here. Top-notch guy. He's rated like second or third on the list. The first guy, of course, is Julius Peppers, who's rated number 1. Akeem Jordan from the Eagles. Too light. Don't think the Eagles want him. Very fast, but not really a good linebacker. Javon Curse, if he plays another year of football, he'll be stealing more money. He plays about six plays a game. If he's lucky, he's very injury prone. Reggie Kelly, a tight end from the Bengals, stinks. I wouldn't sign him if he gave me the right money for him. Okay, here we go. Nick Lachey, out of the Saints. Good player. Center. Looks like the Saints will keep him. Jamal Lewis from the Browns, they released him. A situational back, maybe a third down back to get a yard. Very tough player. Good running back. Had some great years in the NFL. I wouldn't dismiss him as a player, but I wouldn't put my hopes on a guy like him, but he's still a decent player. D.D. Lewis is a linebacker out of Seattle. He's a very good linebacker, by the way, and Seattle will try to sign him. If not, he could fit with a lot of different teams. D.D. Lewis. Leonard Little. I think it's over for him. He's better with a gun in his hand. He got caught with gun trafficking, control, and everything else. He's out of his mind. He's done. Derek Mason, 14 years with the Ravens. Third down receiver, all-time Ravens leader in yards, catches, and everything else. Not a bad fit for any team. Still got plenty of gas tank and a ton of heart. And then I go down the list to look at LaRon McClain from the Baltimore Ravens as the fullback. Real good fullback. Eagles signed Leonard Weaver today. He's up on the open market. He'll get top dollars, and one of the best fullbacks in the NFL is McClain there. Okay, now let's go here. We got Chiefy O'Keeker, another guy from the Cardinals, must be losing the whole team. Not a bad player. Running back Willie Parker coming off an injury with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not a bad player. Chad Pennington, lollipop arm, I wouldn't sign him. Julius Peppers is the jewel of all jewels. He'll probably grab around $20 million. I know the Eagles, Chicago, and the Giants are interested in Julius Peppers. Two-time athlete, start for the North Carolina Tar Heels in basketball. Very, very good player. Adrian Peterson from the Bears, not from the Vikings, is out there. No big deal. In fact, he made a couple crucial fumbles. He's on the chopping block. I don't believe they'll be re-signed. Josh Reeves was a decent wide receiver for the Bills. Dime a dozen type of guy, no big deal. Fred Robbins, another guy who plugs the middle for the Giants. Decent player. I still think he'll make it in football. Giants will probably try to re-sign him. Dante Robinson, the other jewel of the draft, the cornerback from the Houston Texans. Believe he's going to be the number 1 player pick of defensive backs. He's going to get a lot of money, big-time contract. He's ready for it. All-pro, great player. Eagles need you. Knock on his door. He's ready for you. Okay, here we go with some more stuff. Benny Sapp from the Minnesota Vikings. No big deal. He's a cornerback, situational guy. Reggie Seymour, not Richard Seymour. They put the franchise tag on this guy. Nobody will be able to get him. They'll have to give up 2 number 1s for him, and I don't think he's worth that, even though New England got their number 1 for him. Junior Seau, forget about Darren Sharper, probably the best safety in this whole thing. He's going to stay with New Orleans, but he wants to test the free agency. I think he'll still wind up with New Orleans. Scored 3 touchdowns on interceptions last year. Jason Snell is a very good running back out of the Atlanta Falcons. I believe that he's going to be worth a lot of money on the open market. Okay, that's some of the free agents, and we're going to get back with more free agents, but right now, that's the free agents that are on the market. That's my comments. You heard it from Artie Clear, home of the YFI 1460. See you when I see you.